We've seen a gradual increase in talk around responsible reward, and the area that we've seen most people talk about it up till now has been in the executive pay arena, where more and more exec remuneration is being tied to ESG measures, so environmental, social and governance. So that's where people traditionally tend to think of responsible reward. But I think if you're going to think about reward from an employer responsibility point of view, you need to think about your organisation more broadly. Are you paying people in a fair manner? Are you looking after those on low pay, for example? We have an appalling situation in this country where huge numbers of people in full-time work are also in poverty. And I think that's pretty disgusting, that people working full-time can't even afford to live on what they're paid. And we need to call those employers out. We need more responsibility in our society, because that's not a responsible way to behave. Already on fair pay, we see noises getting louder because there is discrimination, there is a gap when it comes to gender, disability, race, and we need to keep pushing on that, because that is not responsible reward if there are gaps for certain sectors of the society. The other area where I would say also extends to responsible reward is pensions and pension investments. We've been seeing more employers saying to us, our staff are coming to us and are questioning how we invest our pensions. They're asking, given the environmental challenges that we're facing, where is our money being put? Our societal changes, and we're having to review where we invest it. Of course, that is complicated because it's not easy just to switch investments in a pension. Even the investment houses can't just switch away from certain sectors, partly because the world, for example, still runs on oil and gas. If we just do a 180-degree turn and come away from that, where would we be? And there's also the danger of some of those big, well-regulated companies disappearing and being replaced by who knows who that's less regulated. So you might land in a worse situation. So responsible reward isn't clean cut. You've got to go gradually and use pressure to move us towards a world that is more responsible, is more sustainable. Another area I would argue also comes in within the responsible, sustainable reward arena is well-being and employee well-being. We've talked about it a lot. Mental well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being, tying back to what I've said about pay. But also social well-being is on the rise with those companies at the vanguard. Something like loneliness is a social blight, and loneliness does exist in the workplace. If you're wanting your staff to work at their best, you don't want loneliness, you want those connections to be made. And then some reward managers are even going broader than that and looking all the way down their benefit package and their reward package, and even extending it to motivation and incentive plans and going, is this a responsible way to incentivize people and motivate them if we're giving them, for example, big sales incentives for a luxury trip abroad? How sustainable is that in a world where we're questioning the environment? So reviewing your motivation and incentive programs, what are the rewards? And some companies I know are linking that to their CSR programs and perhaps thinking of volunteering as a reward, or just something that isn't necessarily using air travel and so on. So there's plenty of room for us to gradually move the dial. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, for reward and benefits people to put the slide rule across and go, is this responsible reward the way we do things? Is this sustainable? Is this good for employees? Is this good for our society?